When the world of business is constantly changing, you need to stay ahead. So what about AI to generate new possibilities? Machine learning to predict what customers will like. Or expand your business by forecasting delivery routes with real-time data. With the power of the cloud, imagine how AWS can transform your business.
Level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
Hello and welcome to Crossfire at the Esports World Cup. We are here live at the B stream and going to be bringing you some awesome action for Crossfire today. I am Valdez, joined by Scriv and Bench today. How are you guys doing here at the wonderful B stream?
Yeah, feeling good. Excited to get into it. I think we've got some great games coming up for today and ultimately to get into the tournament towards the tail end of EWC here as well.
Yeah, it feels absolutely great to be back here in Riyadh, heart of Boulevard. Like you said, Scriv, a lot of things are on the line, the teams for the club championship. I think Crossfire will be the game changer for some of the teams that are on the 3rd, 4th ranking. If they're able to rake up some points here, they can take the money home.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, you know, it's getting pretty active, pretty competitive here at the Club Championship. So let's get into the Club Championship Explainer and let you know a little bit more about that.
This is the Esports World Cup Club Championship, the ultimate cross-game competition that will crown the best esports club in the world. Let's break down how it works. Clubs will be able to compete at the Esports World Cup in as many titles as they can qualify for. The clubs will then earn points based on their placement in each title. To qualify for the Club Championship, a club will need a top 8 placement in at least 2 competitions. But to win the championship, a club must place first in at least 1 competition. At the end of the Esports World Cup, the 24 clubs with the highest number of points will earn a share of the $27 million, with the winner taking home a staggering $7 million. And of course, the title of the best esports club in the world. Who will rise above and write their place in history? Watch it all here at the Esports World Cup.
So there you have it. There is so much on the line here for the EWC Club Championship. It is presented by STC. The update here for the Club Championship. Currently, we do have Team Falcons up towards the top, and Team Liquid and Virtus Pro up there. You notice Twisted Minds, you know, some of these Crossfire teams that we do have at our Crossfire tournament are going to be vying for those top spots at the Club Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it could be a very, very big tournament here. A couple of those names you mentioned are also playing in some of the other games going on this week. So I think that if they perform well here in Crossfire, it's going to set them up with a very, very good chance. And a couple of those names that you mentioned as well, particularly towards the top end already, have some good Crossfire teams this week.
And like I said, Team Falcons is currently on the leaderboard as number 1, but you know, Team Liquid, not a far shot away, just about 500 points away. And if they're able to take down the Crossfire tournament, then they're going to overthrow the crown.
Yeah, you'll notice that we have a lot of teams that have already collected a bunch of points and a bunch of prize money on the line. It just feels like it's so awesome to be part of this Esports World Cup. And even if you don't have a ton of teams or players and stuff like that, you can still get involved and earn a decent amount of money. So yeah, definitely a lot on the line there. And Team Falcons definitely looking like the favorites. They did win last year, of course, the Club Championship. So expecting them to take it here once again, guys?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like, you know, obviously they're able to field a lot of teams. And when it comes to tournaments like Crossfire, when it comes to some of the other games going on as well, they have some really good rosters. But here, particularly in Crossfire, I think that they have a chance to sort of squeak in as a bit of a dark horse and could place pretty highly to solidify that top spot.
Yeah, and roster doesn't necessarily explain everything. And like the title of EWC, nothing is granted. And everyone is going to try dying hard. So yeah, anything could happen. You know, any underdogs could come out on top, and that's what we're about to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we do have, of course, this awesome situation here at the EWC where everybody's got a key and a trophy, and let's get into the key and trophy explainer right now.
No competition is as ruthless as the Esports World Cup. Its trophy system is no exception. The Club Championship Trophy, awarded to the one club that rose above the rest and reigned supreme across all EWC games. The Game Trophy, when a competitor closes their eyes, it's all they see, and it's not complete until it's sealed with a champion's key. Every participant earns a key engraved with their name. That's their right to compete. This year, returning champions hold a key unlike any other. Only one can place their key into the Game Trophy and become an EWC champion. The frame of the champion's key is embedded into the totem, a stone marker of legacy displaying every champion of the year. The keys of the eliminated will be crushed. The champions select 3 broken keys as a personal token, a reminder of who they have humbled. Beneath the totem, a resin block holds the remaining keys, a graveyard of fallen contenders. Will your dreams be broken or your name carved in gold and stone? At EWC, nothing is granted, everything is earned.
So there you have it. It's pretty heartbreaking to see your key get crushed, but it's also so glorious to be up there and have your key, carved into the golden stone, as it was explained there in the, explainer. Let's take a look at the tournament prize pool, as we do have a lot of money on the line here for CROSSFIRE. $750,000 for first place, and I know a lot of the teams here are going to be vying for that first place spot.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a good number of teams. I think they're going to be capable of getting there. Quite a big jump as well from second to first. So, you get all the bragging rights, but of course, I think just going to keep you going for an awfully long time. $500,000 would be nice in my back pocket if I was good enough with CROSSFIRE. But ultimately, a lot on the line here, of course.
And also can't leave out the losers as well. I mean, they still do have to get to earn a bit of money. $25,000, as they are going to be able to take it if they place 13th to 16th.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody that gets involved is going to be feeling good about their position. Even this the $25,000 you were talking about just feels very, very cool. We do have a awesome format explainer as well. If you're just a little bit confused about what's going on here at EWC and for CROSSFIRE, let's jump into that video right now.
For the first time ever, CROSSFIRE steps onto the global stage at the Esports World Cup in Riyadh. 16 of the world's best teams have qualified for this historic showdown. From August 19th to the 23rd, 80 players will clash for pride, for glory, and a share of the $2 million prize pool. The battleground begins with the group stage, starting August 19th. 4 groups, 4 teams in each, and each group plays in a GSL-style double elimination format, with every match being a best of 3. There's no room for error. Only the top 2 from each group will survive and advance. The 8 survivors will march into the playoffs beginning August 22nd. A single elimination bracket awaits, where every match is do or die. The quarterfinals and semifinals remain a tense best of 3. But for the ultimate prize, the stakes are raised. The grand final on August 23rd will be an epic best of 5 clash to crown the first ever CROSSFIRE Esports World Cup champion. A final battle for bronze will also decide the 3rd team to make the podium. This is CROSSFIRE's biggest international moment, and this is its debut at the Esports World Cup. Who will rise? Who will fall? And who will make history? One game, one world, one champion. Let the battle begin.
So there you have it with the format. 4 groups of 4 teams and a GSL format, meaning that you have 2 chances in 2 best of 3s to make it through. If you win 2 of those, you move on to the playoffs, which is single elimination best of 3s, until the finals, which is best of 5. But if you do get knocked out twice in those 2 best of 3s in the GSL format, then you are out of the tournament and you do not make playoffs. So definitely pretty brutal, but also at the same time feels like the most fair format here for CROSSFIRE.
Yeah, it generally, GSL tends to separate the wheat from the chaff, as it were, and you end up with the better teams getting through, and some of those upset potential, things like that, you have a bit more time to survive it. And yeah, I think generally it'll deliver a playoffs that we should all be pretty happy with. So
fun facts about the GSL format, it really just comes down to which group you get placed into, and especially for CROSSFIRE, certain regions do perform better under certain conditions. As you can see on the attending teams, a lot of big names like Evolution Power, you can see all gamers in there as well. So yeah, it's a tough shot if you get placed in one of those groups with those 2 teams. If not, then you have a pretty good chance of climbing out from the group stages.
Yeah, it just feels like, as you mentioned, sometimes the group seeding can come into play in this one because, there's a lot of strong teams, but also we have a lot of up-and-comers and dark horses who are trying to make their names. But if you get into 2 best of 3s early on, you might just get knocked out. So you mentioned a couple of big names. We also have Baisha Gaming, Alcacia Esports, they're looking really strong. Team Liquid as well, Team Falcons. And a lot of these teams, those last 2 that I mentioned, definitely vying for the points in the club championship. So I would definitely be having my eyes on those 2, Team Falcons and Team Liquid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, the points that they are able to accrue here are going to be very, very important. And, if they end up meeting as well relatively early on, it could be a pretty big matchup, even ahead of what could be a semi-final or even a grand final here. But I think there is going to be a decent amount of time before they end up meeting, which works out quite nicely for the storylines. But yeah, Group A side of things here, of course. This, I think, for me, is one of the groups where there's a bit of a clear winner in Al-Qadsia, but ultimately that second spot is kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, Al-Qadsia versus King Zero, which is going to be happening over at Stream A, as we are getting ready to get into Twisted Minds versus Gaiman Gladiators for Group A. So let's go take a look at Group B, and let's see which teams are going to be competing.
Yeah, I mean, this is also a group where you would see there is a big favorite, I would say, in Team Liquid. Us here on the B stream, we are going to be covering Team Liquid versus EWC Esports, which actually is a very big matchup. And I feel like those two could be the top two teams in the group. There's also Q9, though, who, yes, they're not the top Chinese team, but they're still a Chinese team. And in Crossfire, that definitely means that generally you're feeling pretty good about your chances.
Yeah, for sure. There's Rock over there as well. I think got to mention them. They were looking very, very clean in the West League. But this is the group that I think has been the talk of the town. Group C is pretty stacked, to say the least, right? And Falcon's one of those teams that we've mentioned as being really important for them to make it through to playoffs and whatnot for the club championship. Well, they're going to have a hard time. They open up against Baisha, then they've got EP in there as well. So really, really scary group there in Group C.
But definitely can't leave out Group D. It's going to be all gamers and Virtus Pro, followed by Team Stallions versus Navi, which is also going to be casted over at Stream B. And for this group as well, Virtus Pro definitely the underdog here, but they do have the caliber to take down All Gamers, the longtime veteran of Crossfire. So you never know what really could happen in this tournament here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of veterans in both of those squads that we're going to be covering, and definitely want to get into that with Adrian going up against the Team Stallions roster. Definitely one that I'm looking forward to personally, as I've casted that guy for so many years, and also going up against basically a rookie, a very young player over there for Team Stallions. So will be a lot of fun. Let's throw up our Aramco player rankings and power rankings and talk about who we think are the best teams in the tournament. So this is actually done by the guys over on Stream A and has been given to us to kind of react to this list. How do we feel about this list, guys? Because there's definitely one name that's not up there in the favorites. That's actually a couple of names that is surprising me quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe the angle that they might have taken is a little bit looking at the groups, trying to have like one team from each group in the favorite spot, especially. But yeah, there's maybe a few missing. I think you maybe could have put Liquid a little bit higher potentially. Not sure if they were, because of the number of groups and things locked into like 4 teams for each role. But I don't know. There's not too many disagreements for me. I think at the end of the day, I think someone like Rock, for example, do they deserve to be in Dark Horses? I know there's a lot of like West League guys over on the A stream, so they're going to be backing them, for example. But Crossfire always feels like a game for me where there's a lot of chances and a lot of potential for upset, for sure.
Yeah, kind of surprising to see Q9 at the underdogs of all things. I think they're a pretty big dark horse. Back in the Chinese league for Crossfire, they were able to take down the top teams like Baisha. They won against Baisha back in 2022 grand finals. They were able to take down All Gamers as well. So yeah, putting them at the dark underdogs is a little bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because we have so many strong teams, and we can't have like 6 teams in the favorites category, because then that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I'm definitely looking at Team Falcons, Team Liquid to kind of break through that dark horse list. I feel like they definitely could make it to the top, but we'll just have to wait and see. But let's take a look at our S&B match of the day and talk about which match we want to zoom in on a little bit more than the others. Team Liquid up against EWC Esports definitely feels like it could be the closest, but also has some of the bigger names from here at the B stream that we are going to be covering today.
Yeah, that is true. I think as well, we wanted to really highlight the importance of the game for Liquid. They have to do well here. They have to, I think, open with a victory and just make sure that they're not kind of worrying about their tournament life and everything like that. I think that a lot of the conversation comes around how these teams will perform internationally. A lot of the time we're looking regionally. It's like, right, they've cleaned up the region. The game looks good. And then first day, they're not there. Second day, they're worrying about that result. And it can just really mess up the whole tournament for a team.
Yeah, and for the matchup of these two teams will be definitely one of the more interesting games to cast and watch at the same time, because I think it really just comes down to the map ban picks for these two teams. Team Liquid, they both have a really good performance in Ankara. 8-2 for Team Liquid, 5-1 for Evo, so they're definitely going to pick into this map. Followed by Eagle Eye, which is one of the maps that are not usually played in Crossfire tournaments all that often. So this might be the first best out of 3 to include Eagle Eye.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what maps we actually do get into. But we're leading into day 1 here. Let's talk about the player expectations and watch a little hype video about this. Well, it's always really hyped to start out the first day, and our very first matchup, we're going to be talking about these two players going head-to-head from a Gaming Gladiators Boxy going up against Twisted Minds Carrot. Thoughts on this matchup, guys? Who do you think is going to come out ahead in this 1v1?
Oh, well, I feel like Spoxy maybe has a little bit more of the pressure on the Gaming Gladiators side of things, so they'll lean on him a bit more. I feel that, we sort of went for the 2 snipers, so really important head-to-head matchup there.
But the players are now arriving, and like you said, Spoxy definitely has a bit of an edge against Carrot, but it really just is the difference comes from the play styles, because for Gaming Gladiators, their play style is more rigid. It's more formal, I would say. But for Twisted Minds, they do have a very high aggressive type of play. So the armor as well, the sniper, does also take very aggressive angles, so to speak. Whereas Spoxy, he's more of he would stay, hold a certain angle, and play based on it. So yeah, I guess it really just comes down to like who can just hit better shots.
Yeah, we're talking about Twisted Minds here. All the players we do have, definitely a lot of familiar names if you have been following the scene for quite a while. Bakute, definitely going to be another guy I'm looking at. Kim Bum has been around for a while. Mouse V as well. And yeah, these guys just looking really cool in this video and getting ready for this matchup. What do you think about this team, guys?
Yeah, I mean, they've been relatively solid within the Vietnamese league, placing second behind Falcons. I do feel that they have some decent play. It's just when it comes to, again, the international game, I think that Vietnam's maybe a region that has lagged behind a little bit. Falcons maybe as this sort of super team can come in and impress, but Twisted Minds are a squad that we have to kind of wait and see a little bit. Has there been enough preparation from them? Have they been able to match up on the international level? They do okay, not the highest placings usually, but they consistently make it to the international tournaments.
Yeah, local-wise in the Vietnamese league, sure, their aggressive styles do work, but let's go take a look at the roster of Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, I mean, these guys they've been around for actually a while. They were making a lot of splashes in the West League and, bringing in Raffin as well, RFF. And I feel like they've really rounded out their roster with this guy. And to me, I feel like they could certainly make some splashes with a good performance here in this first match up against a strong Vietnamese team.
Yeah, it's a core that's been together for a very long time. And I feel like making changes is something that they have been sort of against or not massive fans of in the past. So the fact that they have brought in a couple new players, this year is a pretty big deal, I think. So very interested to see what they can do with that. And again, it does speak to getting an organization behind you, a bit more security and whatnot. And therefore the decisions that you make are going to be future-proof, right? So I think that's what they're after. But
definitely this roster has some old names in it. Flex, Line Claw, and Dezane. Some some old guys shooting guns, and was able to prove themselves in the West League, and looks like they're here back at Riyadh to prove themselves once again against the rather younger squad of Twisted Minds.
Yeah, well, we do have a video breaking this down just a little bit more. Let's jump into that right now.
I was playing Crossfire since I was very young. Like, it was the game that I used to play at LAN houses that were over the country. Crossfire was showing a good program for the professional players, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to start to try again and meet some old friends again. I think EWC is a very important event, and I think it's like one of the highlights of the year. I feel like EWC means a lot to me because it's another opportunity to show my level against the best teams, and it's just one more opportunity to prove that we can actually compete with the best. I mean, I think this version of me is obviously the best one. This is the time that I understand the most about the game. I think my time in Valorant was important to me to develop as a player. I learned a lot of stuff that can be applied to Crossfire. I've been currently attending most of the international events for Crossfire. Obviously, at some point I feel like there were other times where I was in a very interesting level, but I think this is the point that I'm reaching my highest point of my career, I would say. I hope it's the beginning of something beautiful.
It's just so cool to hear from one of the guys that really burst onto the scene with this squad back in the day at LCK when they used to be called that. Now, of course, Gaming Gladiators. And he, as he's really proven himself over the course of time. And I think that, trying to make something beautiful and play up against the best, and also talking about how he's in his best form is also really cool to hear, because maybe we get the best part of Lioneclaw here at this tournament.
Yeah, hopefully. I think that, tournaments like EWC as well are going to allow some of those players to remain in the teams for longer and sort of come back to the game and just find a new lease on life, as it were.
But do you think all those practices, the time they grinded into getting their, aims and hands back into, will come into play tonight here?
Yeah, we do have the map veto as well, starting off with Port, Band, and then Subbase. And straight in the Black Widow and the Eagle Eye you were talking about there. Bench is going to be coming out, and then Ankara, Mexico, New Mexico Band, and we have Compound as the decider.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these teams are relatively flexible. Generally tends to be the case with some of the more, let's say, solid and consistent teams. Maybe a couple towards the bottom end of the pool, as it were. We'll have a few specialist maps, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Maybe no New Mexico kind of a map that I want to take a look at for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see. A couple of teams are nervous to play that, I think, especially on day one.
Yeah, Mexico is definitely not the map you want to play in the best out of three. A lot of lopsided rounds do happen on that map, but yeah, Black Widow, Eagle Eye, Compound, more of the rather even maps in terms of map balance. So yeah, can't wait to get into the first map, Black Widow. Didn't expect Diamond to pick into this one, as Twisted Minds known very well to be the top performer of this map in the region.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more freedom when it comes to coming into the veto. Again, as we talk about, like, regionally, there might be a little bit of competition and figuring each other out, but it's a lot of, we like to say, play your own game, I suppose, coming into, especially, again, day one of EWC here.
Yeah, I think that also you've got a lot of time to prepare for a tournament like this and get some scrims in as you come over and you meet some of the best teams in the world. Actually, just the best teams in the world. And yeah, you can see all the players out there. A lot of discussion going on, maybe talking about strats, maybe talking about what they're going to do before they get into this match. And as you mentioned, really just trying to play your game and not trying to even focus too much on your opponents, because sometimes that can get in your head. It can be a little bit rough if you're going up against a very strong opponent that has a lot of titles under their belt. You kind of just want to say, no, we're a great team as well, and we want to take it down.
Yeah, I feel like Twisted Minds in particular, it's kind of interesting, as you briefly touched on, Bench. They're actually quite a young team. I think that we have a lot of the top-level Crossfire teams and players tend to be made up by sort of legends and legacy players that, have been able to remain consistent for so many years. Maybe they have a world championship under their belt. They're trying to sort of get back to that they the form that they had 5, 6, 7 years ago. But Twisted Minds, there's something fresh about them, and I think that a tournament like this could be a breakout opportunity for them, actually.
So the real question is, will the youngins get schooled by the old veterans, or will the young blood be able to take out the old blood?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting kind of opening matchup here. Again, you got to start the tournament off, start the day off, which is a little bit scary. But I think ultimately it's playing in these types of environments. Nothing prepares you for this. You have to be here. You have to experience it. And that is something that Twisted Minds, might be missing just a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, you see a lot of the players over there on the side of Twisted Minds, getting some jackets back on, getting the heat packs going. I think, that could be, we're coming into here. It's an air-conditioned venue, obviously, and just want to make sure that they're feeling as comfortable as they possibly can. The temperature, obviously, a big one, especially with the hands. You're playing FPS, you got cold hands. That's just not going to work, guys, right? So making sure that all of our players are at their top capabilities and that the match is as competitive as possible. The guys on the side of Gaming Gladiators don't seem too bothered by it. Maybe a little bit more accustomed to the temperature here in the building. But yeah, looking good and almost ready to go here, guys.
But yeah, like I said, like I've mentioned, experience definitely will be a key role here for the younger team here. Twisted Minds, they do have some international experience in the grand finals, but they were eventually thrown out pretty early in the group stages, if I can recall my memory correctly. For XLCK, Gaming Gladiators, they do have plenty of experience, so yeah, shouldn't be startled too much to be on one of the top stages of the world, EWC CROSSFIRE.
Well, it looks like, we got some chance. We got some cheers from our teams. Might be almost ready to hop into the game. And this is very exciting. We're starting off here at the CROSSFIRE for EWC. And it's the exact first match we got here for the B stream. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And it's going to be a really fun match. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to leave it to you two casters to break down the game and give us all the action as maybe a last-second issue. As I do see Flex is pointing at something over there. But I'll leave it to you guys and take it away, gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. Excited to get into it. So here we kick things off as we are straight into the action, of course. Trying to see whether things start off well, particularly for Gaming Gladiators here on this BL side of things.
Twisted Minds over on the global risk side. As we say, we do have a quick pause coming in. We'll get things sorted out. But yeah, talk about the map itself. For the stat-wise, Gaming Gladiators do have a 13-3 whooping scoreline here in their previous tournaments. And for Twisted Minds as well, they do have 16-3. So it's a little bit better, but needless to say, it was played in the Vietnamese region. So
okay. Seems like we're halfway live here, folks, and we will be
halfway.
Yeah, we will be maybe on a little bit of a reset, but ultimately just getting things sorted. I think if I'm correct in thinking, there's no CROSSFIRE server out here, so there's a lot of setup required to get the game going. So maybe a little bit of
they might have actually brought some offline servers here.
Oh well, there you go. Goodness, cannot imagine the league op side of things. But either way, a little bit of action here as it looks like the B-bomb site might be the choice here. That chip, oh my goodness, looking strong straight out of the gate. Will be traded eventually, but a couple of really nice shots to just slow down the attack.
Flex also being able to take down Miles of all things now down to a 2v3. The C4 rotates in towards the B-bomb site being held down by Kimbum. 40 seconds remaining onto the clock. The pop flash to Zane is going to start creeping in towards the connector. Kimbum comes in. Let's see if he's able to find a couple headshots. He does find one. The M14. New gun added here at EWC. So is the TRG as well, I believe.
Oh, nice angle, decent damage. Will finish off that kill onto Flex, but traded out into the 1 versus 1 here to kick us off in the first round. C4 going to go down nice and easy. Spoxy really, lacking the information, gets a little bit lucky there, just a spot in the window. Should be able to find this, but no, around the corner, it's Bokyu who takes it, and the first round will go the way of Twisted Minds.
What a pop flash. was able to spot out the tip of the arm, peeking out from the window. But at the end of the day, Baka was able to use the vision advantage and take the kill. And the pause now comes into play.
Yep.
Looks like it's a technical one, I believe, as we can look at the stage down below us.
Okay, we're moving. We are moving quick. So maybe just sort of, as we say, sorting things out. And again, it's in this environment, a little bit different for a few of the players. Again, more of a B lean here to begin for Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, a lot of utils being spent here by Twisted Minds out towards A long. Before Gaming Gladiators, after a failed take onto B, it was a rather slow one. They were able to trade out the kills pretty fast. It was down to 3-on-3, but eventually they spent just a tad bit more time than required, and looks like Twisted Mind was able to take the bomb site back into their hands. Going to round number 2, C4 is dropped by the spawn, and players are looking to get into the catwalk area of A. Don't know where they want to take this one into. Carrot waiting with open arms. Is going to be able to find the tip of the head there. Spoxy goes down. And looks like Guyman's going to lose the armor of the squad.
Yeah, sharp shot. Really sharp. And obviously something that we pointed out early on was this head-to-head battle. Still early here. So the GR side of things looking pretty good for Twisted Minds. Feeling comfortable on the defense, which I think it's important. You know, you've got to make sure that your individuals are able to hold their particular spots, flex on a pickup, trying to get that trade, late trade, but just not happening. So the minute left here, Gaming Gladiators are somewhat out of ideas, just try and brute force their way in towards B, I suppose, but it's going to be easier said than done. The jump spot here, lovely and clean, and they've got a nice crossfire going at the moment.
Looks like they're going to full send it.
Yeah, this looks dangerous. Oh, through the smokes, trying, failing, but it's Datchip at the back end who's able to take a couple down with him. Just 2 remaining now on that BL side of things, and yeah, the spam is just all too easy. As it looked like, difficult to get in, an attempt made by Dezane, to be fair, but there's nothing really coming here for that Gaming Gladiators side.
Yeah, nice defensive setup, crossfires and all that, all the utils as well. And Twisted Minds is going to be able to lead out 2-0. And for Guyman, looks like they're going to need to put some gas in the pedal now. Otherwise, Black Widow is one of those maps where you get completely lopsided out if you do lose the driving force.
Okay.
Lexus Foxy going for the double TRG setup. And looks like it's going to pay off dividends. That chip and Carrot taken out in a blink of an eye. Almost missed that too here, Scrib.
Yeah, to be fair. I think doing a good job of just sort of picking up the pace into this round. We've seen a lot of defaulting and prodding and poking in these earlier rounds. So really cleanly done there to just sort of change the pace up. And as you say, it pays off very, very well. So solid advantage right here for the BL side of things as they will look to move in towards this A bomb site. CROSSFIRE though at the back. It's a pretty tough angle to beat. He's got teammates on the way. And he's just trying to draw them in as best he possibly can. The trade is not there, though. Felt like a decent idea, just doesn't come off. Can't land the shots, and that should be the round.
Yeah, playing by the window side with the boxes, juggling your footsteps. It's tough to land your shots, especially when you're midair. But Kimbum, the last member alive, is going to be taken out by Flex. And it looks like Guyman's going to be able to find the deer needed first round for themselves. 2-1. Still, Twisted Minds on the lead, and Scrib, to me, Guyman was able to direct themselves away from the B bomb site, which is basically kill house, and was able to find themselves get bomb planted on towards A. So do you think, are they going to be able to continue on with the trend of hitting A, maybe a split this time towards catwalk, or are they just going to brute force it down towards long?
Well, potentially, I think that there is a little bit more room on the A bomb site. I mean, it's still pretty early doors is the thing for me. And it looks like what we're going for is a lot of pick-based action. You know, first kill is very, very important here. It feels like for these teams, we were talking about this a little bit. 2 of the more passive kind of regions in a sense that they don't really like to play super, super aggressive. So I think these first kills are going to really decide a lot of these rounds. In this particular round, it's Twisted Minds who were able to find the first. So Is that going to be spawn-based? Is that going to be just off of who's a little warmer here this morning still?
This
But
morning.
all the same, yeah, it's all blending together at this point. But either way, Twist of Mind's looking good here.
Yes, Boxy was taken out earlier in the round, and looks like they're going to force it down towards the B-bomb side, but Kim Bomb has a good spray down, almost gets a second kill as well. Pistol out, not going to work. Flex and Zane gets into the bomb side. The C4 is down. The rotation from Twist of Minds is coming in as well, but the smoke is going to blur out the vision of the members of Gaiman to enter into the bomb site. Going a big flank here, though. Mouse and that chip. Will it pay off dividends here?
Well, yeah, that is the question. They do seem to smell a little bit of a rat. Flex is tagged up, but lives to fight another day here, and of course trained in on this arm, but will go down. Zane then got the bomb back, but yeah, there's not really too much coming. They just couldn't get out. And as you say, as it keeps happening, this B bomb site, bit of a lockout.
Yeah, I feel like they want to drive a faster tempo into the B-bomb site. As you can see from the utils being thrown out, they are trying to pop flash. They're trying to cover the window with the smoke and all that. But eventually, your body has to get into the bomb site. And looks like, I don't know what's going on, but something is holding them back from just bum rushing into the bomb site.
Yeah.
So moving into round number 5, let's see what Gaiman wants to do here. They're set outside of B-bomb site with a player on towards catwalk. Possibly hinting to us a possible mid-hit. Haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, just sort of going through the basic Rolodex of strategies at the moment. It does seem, Twisted Minds as well, have just figured play a little bit safer, be careful about that first peak, right? The round that they lost was maybe down to the fact that they had 2 or 3 players all getting aggressive at the same time. So they just need to mitigate the risk with some of the early peaks, and they've done a good job of that so far.
C4 now being moved in towards a long 3 players here, being held down by Mousevy. Can he find the opening frag? He's going to pop flash there with the support of that chip towards long. The Zane's going to swing and a miss as Kimbum takes one down. Lion Claw's going to be able to take Mousevy out. And now the rest of Twisted Minds will have to start rotating. It's Boxy, though, on towards Catwalk's going to get wall banged the heck out from him. The Zane trying to cross. That chip waiting by the staircase gets one. Can he clap the second player? Yes, he does. And it looks like Twisted Minds is going to be able to close out one more round in favor for themselves.
Yeah, big recovery there as well. You hear the cheers from behind. I think they feel good about that one. They know that it was a little closer, certainly chaotic. And a few missed fights, a few kills that really could have and should have gone the opposite way, you know, to the opposite player, but not the case. So yeah, Game of Gladiators maybe going to be kicking themselves a little after that round. And now TM really starting to stretch ahead. You know, the gap is growing, and some of these rounds looking more and more dominant.
Yeah, in the first couple of rounds, we were able to see players of Twisted Minds playing a little bit aggressive, players peeking out towards catwalk with the TRG and all that. But after racking up 4 rounds, they're not playing aggressive anymore. They're playing very defensive. They're playing very formal, I would say, as they don't have to risk anything anymore. They do have the rounds in their pocket.
Yeah, ultimately, I think that they feel as well, yes, they've got the rounds, but also they're just able to hold the sites well in their basic setups. They don't need to take any chances or do anything unorthodox. The kills and the rounds are sort of coming to them. RFF struggling a little bit here as well as we just watch him, has yet to frag. So we'll see if that continues to be the trend. But just a couple things to keep your eyes on. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, that chip, Kimbum really flying ahead.
Barrett, once again, waiting by catwalk. Didn't see the players cross. Misses the first shot here. That chip is waiting and looks like he's going to find a double kill for himself. Quick enough. Looking for the third. Juggling with the box is not going to quite hit that one this time. Carrot is there to wrap it up. The last kill onto his Foxy. Can he hit the shot? Yes, he does. And that round was as quick as blinking of an eye here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they really do enjoy the double sniper setup as well. And that round is a real testament to how powerful it can be in the right hands. But Datchip continues farming, ultimately. Looking really, really solid here.
10 kills already.
Yeah, he's flying. He's flying. That's, you know, a good number of multi-kill rounds. So, and that last one included, again, having really, really solid impact, really quick with it.
Yeah, so the global risk side, they usually go for the double sniper setup, out towards long and out towards catwalk. To counter that for the blacklist side, I think they haven't tried just swinging out middle and split A through middle and cat. Don't know if Gaiman wants to do it this time. Haven't seen them even poke and prod out towards middle at all in the past 6 rounds, so we'll have to wait and see. Raffin takes a punch through the doors here to make things even worse for Gaiman.
Yeah, they're maybe in the just can't win mode at the moment. It all seems to be going against them.
It's like putting salt to your wound, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. There's maybe a chance here, if things do not improve, that, you know, we start to talk about map 2 a little prematurely, to be honest. But we'll see. Gaining bits of space as they will work their way through here and try and confuse things out. Are they going mid? Are they even going to try and split A, perhaps, with a small lurk out at long?
Still have a whole minute to work with. The C4, of course, is going to be down towards Kawak. Bakut this time will be knocked out by Raffin, so first frag granted towards Raffin. And to open this round up, Raffin drops down. Datcher was completely unaware he gets knocked out. Although Kimbum is there to return some fire. Down to 3v2, the C4 now being planted. All down to the hands of Kimbum and Carrot.
Again, it's the A-bomb site, isn't it? You know, it looks a little bit better for them, and they're able to perhaps find some more consistency there. Really difficult angle. I mean, Spoxy is pretty much invisible. Pete comes around, nice and easy. Kimbum going to go down. Not expecting too much from him, but yeah, we'll see here. We're still not getting super excited just yet, and you can see some size of relief that they're able to get back on the board, but there's still a gap that needs closing.
Diamond finally able to rack up a bit more round. 5-2 still in favor of Twisted Mitans, and the opening frag is going to be down towards Lion Claw. 4v5. And Scrib, I feel like this time around, I think Gaiman with a member down, I think it's valid for them to try hit B once again, just brute force it.
Yeah.
I feel like they only failed because they took the tempo down a little bit slowly, so they're able to just put the gas to the pedal, then they might still take the round here.
Yeah, they do lack a little bit of the confidence over there, don't they? They kind of get into the entrance, and then there's a slight bit of resistance, maybe arguments over who goes first, you know. But the energy, not quite up, and a bit of nervousness. It's something that, again, we have talked about, and maybe where the teams from China in particular just have a lot of confidence, a lot of aggression, right? And some of these other teams don't quite know how to match that. But this one does not start well, of course. So that's going to affect things just in the general field of play. Lose that player early. And again, they felt confident with the A-bomb site previously. Maybe try and get one of those snipers in there and just get an entry, perhaps.
Yeah. Gaiman's going to go for the double arm setup. Flex has a pretty good angle, but he's going to back out as the flash is being thrown towards his face. Less than a minute left onto the clock here. The Zane takes a bunch of damage out of nowhere into Skyro. Probably leg shot with the TRG here. Carrot versus Spoxy. Carrot spots him out first. Down a player, and looks like Gaiman will have to fall back out from Catwalk. And then waiting in middle is going to be Mouseby to make things worse. Flex goes down to a 2v5 with 30 seconds. This is a hard one to take, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just feels as well we've got a lot of slowdown from GG, and that allows some of the Twisted Minds players to just go prodding and poking. They're already a man up and whatnot, and they get those snipers in there in particular and just flatten off the opponent. Really, really cleanly done. Given the chance, given the opportunity, they are pulling out some very one-sided rounds right now.
Very one-sided indeed. Like I said, 6-2. We do have a quick technical pause. Looks like it will be sorted out pretty soon as the referees are stepping out from the stage. So yeah, looks like we're just back.
Good, man. We're on it. Definitely on it here at EWC. But we'll see. They have not had that first kill come in, so always a plus, I think, for Gaming Gladiators when they're able to approach the round in a straight up 5v5, not losing the early picks and whatnot. It's been a while since we've seen them, in fact, find that kind of success. Twisted Minds playing pretty far back in this round, actually. There is a lot of presence out towards long, which I think is going to be an area of contention in just a moment.
For Gaiman, if they're able to close the first half out with 30 rounds, they still do have some hopes and beliefs left in them. But if they do end up losing this round here, Twisted Minds can easily close this one out. Kara gets completely sprayed out, and so is Mouseby. So, definitely being favored here by Gaiman is going to be able to go for a bit more aggression, but Kimbum says no to that, takes one down and does a bunch of damage as well. Zane crosses with the C4. No, it gets chopped down, and Balkan on top of the bomb say we'll find one before going down.
A little bit close for just a moment there, but they have maybe lost a few of the key fights. Very, 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 very low HP here, though. And Datchip is going to know that. Patiently waiting, ready for that C4 to go down. Here's him coming in, just tries to cover it off, but it's a keen find from RFF. Really, really important that he gets that kill and, you know, doesn't fluff his lines on that one. So, yes, indeed, on the board, but you can kind of see, again, the stress, the tension, still pretty high. Very, very close round there to close things out.
And since Black Widow is more of the global risk-sided map of all things, if Gaiman is able to, you know, just continue on with the trend of picking up rounds here and there, they do have a valid chance of taking the map down by themselves, as now we do get to switch the sides. Twisted Minds for themselves, I think they're going to go for the more aggressive tactics.
Okay.
Like they were able to showcase in the grand finals, even though it was completely halted down by the Chinese region, of all things.
Another little bit of a technical issue before we move into this second half, but yeah, it feels like things are heating up a little bit for the Gaming Gladiators. I will say Twisted Minds still had some very clean rounds, just a few changes in places as well, where it was like, right, do we need to take those aggressive peaks, take those risks? They did a very good job, I think, of adapting on the fly. Gaming, it's a bit flatter for me if they find that opening pick in a round. If an initial exchange like we saw there in the final round just kind of goes their way, there's a couple of guys just slightly off the angle or whatever, right? If they were a bit wider, they perhaps find their kills. So there's less consistency to the way that Gaming Gladiators have been playing for me.
Yeah, I mean, their aggressions in the first couple of rounds was not aggressive enough, I would say, on the Blackness side.
Yeah.
Opening frags, of course, was taken by Twisted Minds, so they will have to start a round off with a member down already. And with just 4, if you're able to isolate one bomb site to yourself, you can play 4v3 at max, since every team will leave at least one player towards the other bomb site. Nonetheless, they weren't first of all, they weren't able to isolate the bomb site completely. Certain smokes weren't there in position in the right time. Second of all, the entry fragger wasn't able to get the trade kills in quick enough, so the aggression was definitely slow, I would say. But I think they were able to pick up their tempo coming to the latter rounds, so hopefully this change of things will help Gaiman to rack up some more rounds.
Indeed. This is never good, though. Takes some of that momentum away, you know. I think just as we were starting to get into the flow of competition, it has unfortunately hit a wall here.
Probably better for Gaiman, isn't it?
I suppose it all depends. I think it's always very curious about like tech pauses and stuff, right? Like how do certain people deal with it? I know myself, for example, not that I'm anywhere near as good as these guys. I feel like sitting in my own thoughts, not being able to talk and all that kind of stuff maybe wouldn't do me the best. You start to perhaps doubt things or, you know, over analyze, especially when you are on a stage of this caliber, right? So,
right.
But it depends. Some players, I'm sure, are able to stay zen. Maybe that's all part of the skill of being a professional player as well. It's not just in the mechanics. A lot of it is in the mental side of things. But yeah, always very curious as to maybe do they practice this? Do they sit in silence for like 10 minutes or something, you know, when they're at the boot camps and whatnot, just to kind of get used to that feeling? But yeah, the big thing for me is just like not being able to talk and communicate at all while you wait for the issue to get sorted.
But yeah, talking just a little bit more about the maps here. Black Widow, 6'3", of course, Twisted Minds in the favor here, but Gaimin being able to pick up a bit more of a tempo, bit more of a precision here in their shots. Now that Gaimin is going to be able to play on the more favorite side of all things, do they have a pretty good shot at closing this map out by themselves, or is it going to go into the golden rounds?
I mean, I feel like it's a little bit difficult to say. Just from what I've seen, Twisted Minds look a little sharper, a little more originality to them. You know, maybe playing more confidently and with a bit more knowledge of the map, especially with it being their pick. That being said, things could change as we flip over here, but also you have to think individually. We've seen a bit more out from Twisted Minds. You know, when a round goes well for gaming, there's maybe a few more players getting involved. I think that it's pretty scary to see what Datchip is doing, especially if he can keep that up onto the blacklist side of things. I think that could be a really, really scary prospect. You know, get aggressive, find that entry frag. No one can compete with him necessarily.
Followed up by Black Widow is going to be Eagle Eye 2.0. Unfortunately, on the first BO3, we don't get to see the New Mexico update. But looks like we are back into the lobby live and already opening frags here. And their flex goes down to Carrot. And that chip is going to be taken down by Raffin. And eventually, looks like Twisted Minds is looking to get in towards the A bomb side. A lot of interest being shown here. C4 rotates in as well. Carrot on the cross. Will he be able to find another frag? Through the tip of the smoke here, but the flash is going to work out some wonders. Carrot will have to fall back.
You can immediately see here, though, can't you? There's a lot of difference in from Twisted Minds playing a lot faster. Not afraid to take those fights. Maybe they should be, though. And some of the early ones not going well for them. Mouseby, though, where does he come from? He's just bursted in, picks up the double on Cat, and creates the space for the bomb plan. Really, really well done. I think just going to completely bamboozle Gaming Gladiators here as they will look to try and remain competitive. Big kill coming in, but it's deep information gained. Edge of the smoke, a keen shot from Carrot, however, should give them the round. Kimbum makes it look easy to close things out. And
what a flick, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Absolutely insane shots from Carrot. This guy is completely dialed in tonight. I mean, for Gaimin, they had some nice opening frags. They had some good trade kills here and there, but eventually, Datchip and Carrot just completely shutting down the show here for Gaimin. Arcing out 7-3. And like you said, Scriv, a lot faster tempo being shown here.
Yeah,
by Twisted Minds. Rather, Gaimin had a slower rounds, I would say, on their blacklist side. So let's see if this changes anything. That ship swings and a miss. Lion Claw is going to be able to take him down, and the nade from Bucket's going to take Lion Claw out.
Yeah, I feel like a really, really big trade. Gaming Gladiators going for something that we've just not seen all game long, and that is some coordinated CT aggression. So a big trade, but a big find through the double doors here. Spoxy keeping control of that area as well, so the game slows down a little. Carrot looking to contact his way through. Oh, can't get it done though. Flex with an easy find of his own. So solid advantage at the moment for Gaming Gladiators. Just got to be careful not to give too much away here. I think we're already starting to see Twisted Minds maybe conceding the round slightly, see what comes their way. But I think they know that this is going to be a really, really tough round.
I mean, if Twisted Minds can isolate one bomb site and see if they can just take down the solo player holding down the bomb site. Zane actually gets spotted out and not looking the right angle. Raffin, though, swings out, is able to retaliate, take one kill down. Bakut versus the world, 1v2, and a Dream has plenty of time. 50 seconds remaining. The C4 not yet to be picked up. Has so many angles to look for before he can recover the bomb. Raffin in the bomb site is going to be able to finally take down the kill. And Gaimin is going to find one more round for themselves here.
Again, coming off the back of some aggression. So playing a lot more confidently in this second half than I think they were in the first. You know, on that BL side of things, they lacked a bit of the get up and go. See it again, though, looking to get aggressive towards B. So we just have to be careful. How long is this going to last? So many smokes going down, a lack of information, and just able to play around them. really keen finds here, and I think I'm liking what I'm seeing. This is a very different team in this second half.
Yeah, Gaiman slowly but surely picking up the pace here. Already found 2 kills. The Zane gets taken out. Smoke with a quick headshot by that chip. Guy's been dropping 13 frags total in just about 11 rounds, so already above 1 KD here.
Yeah, a really solid game from him. Kimbum also not too far behind. Carrot. Oh my goodness, the timing of it. He's able to get away, take another shot, but he misses out. That second time of asking could have been absolutely devastating. A lot of damage has been done. So we'll see. There's lots and lots of time for Twisted Mind to get back into this round and, you know, find those low players.
Yeah, still a very doable round. Like you said, Flex and Line Club barely breathing here, which is about 5 HP or something. If they're able to find the opening frag, this round could easily be headed towards Twisted Minds. Minute left onto the clock, and looks like they're gonna start poking prodding in towards the B house, held down by Flex. And the crouch cross not caught out just yet. Looks to swing, but Flex is gonna play smart. He's not gonna peek. He's gonna hide in the boxes, play lurk a little bit, buy the time, buy the room for your team to rotate it back in.
Yeah, this is all to play for in this round. Just trying to creep in, the wall bang. He's maybe heard a step or just got a good idea that it's the only spot that he could be in. Datchop cannot cross though. So it's all going to come down to Kimbum. Really, really important clutch here if he's able to get it. The first kill and the plan, the easy part. Now he's got the difficult bit as he looks to close the gap here on the pistol, finds both through the smoke. Oh my goodness, and a massive, massive find. Twisted Minds with a huge stolen round.
Stolen is probably the right term here, Scriv. That round, seemingly and surely, Gaiman could have closed that one out. It was a 2v1, but Kimbum was able to get the bomb planted, had all the utils to himself, smoked off the cross, and used that angle to himself, quickly pistoling down 2 players in a row, and the round is going to be taken by Twisted Minds, and looks like, as you can see on the screen here, a lot of wind has been taken out from the sails. The expressions, the facial expressions. Yeah. Man, it's sad to see, isn't it?
Well, I suppose it can be, but that is the nature of the competition. Around that they know, we know, I think everybody knows they should have been winning. So starting to worry ever so slightly now as the game getting away from them. We'll be in prime position now on the Twisted Mind side of things, and as you mentioned, the mental side of things really becomes important now. So start to worry, and immediately you can see Gaming Gladiators have lost that aggression that they were pulling out a lot of the rounds. They've decided to play it safe and not take any risks. Twisted Minds expecting a bit of said aggression, but as we mentioned, it's not coming their way.
I mean, Raffin has picked up some pace by himself. I think he had 0 kills up until the 5th or the 6th round. Not exactly sure when it was, but now he's got 8 kills himself. If he frags out just a little bit more, will definitely be helpful for their team to win some more rounds here. At risk now, 8-4. Just 2 rounds before Twisted Minds can close this one out for themselves. Carrot going a little bit aggressive down towards long. It's going to back out.
Yeah, more of the action going down towards the mid area, it would seem. C4 has been dropped, a decent amount of information. Not loads of time here for Twisted Minds, actually. They do have to be a bit wary, a bit careful. Nade damage is decent, but Flex able to remain on that angle. And they are somewhat panicking here for ideas. Maybe just trying to send that chip in to fake things out, draw some attention. The bomb itself, though, will be slowly but surely headed up cap. Down goes that chip. It's not really enough of a sell. 10 seconds here. Flex is hidden away. The kills are in for Spoxy as well. So looking decent enough. Just about able to get the bomb down, though. Very, very, very close. We'll see what Garrett can do. Oh, my goodness. Brings it as close as damn it, but not able to clutch up this time.
So close yet so far. Carrot almost clutching that one out. Could have been another stolen round here. Not quite going to work out. It's going to be a 8th round still for Twisted Minds, but Gaiman is going to be able to finally find a round for themselves after a long break. But yeah, I think that last round was a little bit forced by TM, wasn't it? Just about less than a half a minute before getting into anywhere, trying to sell fake down towards B. Like I said, not sold.
Yeah.
Just one player just juggling with the guns. Not quite going to work here at the top of the world stages here. But at the end of the day, this pause hopefully will help both of the teams to get back on track. That last round was a little bit rowdy, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think, again, you see how close it comes and how panicked it was. If they'd maybe just given themselves an extra 15 seconds, something like that, it could have just calmed them down ever so slightly. And quite tense here, though, as we potentially come towards the end. It all depends on whether Gaming Gladiators with a couple of timeouts now, if they're able to keep closing this gap.
This one is a tack, I think.
Yes. So chatting things over and just trying to, you know, remain in the lead, I would imagine, for Twisted Minds in particular. Just got to nip this in the bud before it gets too crazy. And, you know, you have to bear in mind that one comes close and is chaotic. One of their rounds here on the BL side of things has also come down to a crazy clutch. It's not actually been as much of that domination that we saw in the first half.
And Gaiman playing very standard setups is working in their favor. Yeah. So looks like none of the rather spicy plays on the goaler side will be shown. Early on, though, some nades being thrown. The Zane taken down to about half HP here already. Twisted Minds thinking about gathering some information down towards middle. Mouseby with the C4 is going to start creeping in towards doors. Not entirely sure if they want to swing out. They do have a smoke put out towards the connector. Raffin as well, trying to poke and prod and get some more information. Going to be a rather slow-paced round there, Scriv.
Just looking to thread that needle, aren't they, really, and find the all-important gap. It looks like through middle, trying but failing to catch Flex on that rotation. Datchip's actually found himself in a pretty good spot here, I would say. Yes, they're down a player, but I think he has a good chance to really devastate, and it's a difficult angle to beat. Ow, RFF able to stay alive, actually. I thought surely would get traded there. It's all about buying time. He's got Lion Claw in beside him as well, so looking pretty good in terms of the setup. He's just doing his best to stay alive here and make sure they can keep spotting some information. Lion Claw, they know about him, but these angles are just so tough to beat. The rotation's now going to start coming in. The spam is slowly getting there. They will eventually force him out, and somehow they've managed to net the kills. I think very well played from Twisted Minds to not get too distracted, not fully send it in, and it was that rotating player that they take down. Now the flank from Dezane, but surely nothing coming here. He will play it super safe, get that bomb the hell out of dodge, but he goes down to Carrot anyway. A big round from Twisted Minds.
Yeah, I mean, Raffin trying his best to stay alive, just crouch jumping by the boxes not to get wall banged, was able to buy decent amount of time. I more than enough, I would say, but Dezane on the rotation was taking a more detoured route, I would say. Took a while for himself to get back in towards the B connector. Didn't come in time. The bomb site was swarmed, and Twisted Minds is going to find the 9th round for themselves here. Moving into round number 15, Spoxy eventually taken down to make things worse for Gaiman. About to get knocked out from the first map here.
Yes, indeed. I think they've had, in isolation, a few good rounds, but never really able to compete here on the Gaming Gladiator side of things. Twisted Minds have always done a good job of getting back in and making sure that, you know, one doesn't turn into a streak of rounds necessarily. But we'll see. Always still time. Never over until it is over. That chip on the slow contact here. Just trying to find another, of course, and really solidify this round in. You can see that they're playing quite slowly. No need to rush into things. They've already got a solid advantage. Just play around that. Not a great deal of utility remaining, so now have to make a decision about where they want to go.
Looks like it's going to be B bomb site to be contested here, whole time by Lion Claw. Last time, he was hiding by the corners, was eventually taking out the tip of the head, peeking out. The C4 rotates in as well, and now Raffin was able to buy some information for the team. The rotation comes in quick. The Zane, though, swings out pretty wide. Bucket goes down. It looks like Twisted Minds will have to decide if they want to rotate out from B or just force it down. And it looks like their decision is going to be out towards Catwalk, is it?
Maybe eventually they've got this guy out long here. Is kind of their only contingency. Slowly going to safely rotate around. So actually maybe just going to go where they have information and take the bomb with them. But we'll see. Again, looking for a small sort of fake out here. Kimbum not hard selling, but just making noise, keeping attention over on that B side of things. Meanwhile, Long relatively vulnerable, trying to get in on the cross here. 15 seconds to do so. Trade is there. Kimbum looking to cut off rotations, but fails. Not able to get anything in from that angle. The nade is good, but not enough damage to stop the bomb being planted. So all to play for here on the Gaming Gladiators side of things. They do have the advantage going into it, but the HP bars do not favor them. Difficult to tell, difficult to call, and they know, Twisted Minds, they have to take the initiative. Carrot will find a keen shot, traded out, nice and clean, but it's Mouth on a big flank here. Able to drop it down to the 1 versus 1, looking to try and find it. And just got to play, the mind games here. Get him off the bomb, keep him distracted. He tries his best to go in for the hold, and I think that should just about be enough to get this over the line. It's pretty damn close though, Bench. It's pretty damn close, and no, he cannot pull off the defuse. TM will get it done.
It was close, but it was not there. The last tick wasn't there to defuse the C4. Looks like Twisted Minds is going to be able to close the first map of Black Widow out 10-4. Pretty whooping scores, I would say, as we are getting ready to move. Just waiting to move into the next map of Eagle Eye.
Yeah, I mean, a really key map, I think, coming in from Twisted Minds at the end of the day. Very, very well shown. As we'll probably see here on the highlights, some of their rounds were situations where they shouldn't necessarily be winning. A good handful of clutches in there that were very, very impressive. But particularly, I think, starting the game off pretty strong, making sure that Gaming Gladiators were on the back foot from the get-go, as you can see here, right? 5-1 before they were really ever to get going again. So I think that it was just an uphill battle the whole way through for Gaming Gladiators.
Yeah, it was a tough one to climb. But at the end of the day, we were able to see some calibers being shine bright, at least. Some good rounds coming out from Gaiman. But the question now here really is, Scriv, is that do they have the caliber on the Blacklist side of other maps as well? Because whatever they've shown on the Black Widow side, a map of Black Widow is, it's not there, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I think there is a little bit of a lack of maybe just even individual prowess to them. At least on this map and at least today. So yeah, very, very curious to see what this second map will hold for that Gaming Gladiator side in particular.
And there you go, the winner, Twisted Minds. Good cast, by the way, guys. Was really enjoying that while you guys were breaking that down. Twisted Minds definitely looking like the stronger team here. I personally thought that Gaming Gladiators would be able to do well on Black Widow, but not quite the case. And Twisted Minds a very strong showing here. Obviously, the sniping was fantastic from the side of Carrot, and also I really thought that Datchip, was putting in a lot of work. Just so many awesome angles he was able to take into the backlines and stuff. Was really throwing them for a loop, and they really could not deal with them.
Yeah, for sure. I think they were giving him a lot of the keen angles, right? And ultimately, he was able to take them and prove why he should be having them. That being said, though, yeah, you mentioned Carrot. I think certainly into the second half, he really seemed to pick things up. And a pretty top-heavy scoreboard, for sure, from the side of Twisted Minds, but ultimately, no one able to match on the other side of things.
Yeah, the firing squad of Twisted Minds, 18-8, 16-12, 15-8. What a scoreline there for these three players. But for Gaiman, Raffin off to a very slow start, was sitting at 0 kills up until like the 6th round, I believe. But looks like they were able. Raffin was able to climb back, was able to find some kills for himself.
Yeah, so I'm curious, guys, moving into Eagle Eye here for the second map, do you feel like we can see a comeback in this one, or are Twisted Minds just the better team today?
Yeah, I feel like there were flashes from Gaming Gladiators for sure. There was definitely a couple of rounds. They liked their aggression on the GR side of things, which was pretty fresh, quite nice to see. And I think that it did throw Twisted Minds for a loop for just a second. But unfortunately, yeah, individually, there may just be a lack of depth to the team, and Twisted Minds are a little quicker with it, a few more flicks, a few more clutches. These sort of key things went their way a lot more often.
And Eagle Eye 2.0 is one of those maps where aggressive playstyles doesn't necessarily pay off dividends. It's a very long map. It's a very wide map. So Twisted Minds with a more faster and aggressive playstyle might not benefit all that much from the second map. And Gaimin might just be able to pick some pace back up, as they are better playing more standard setup, so to speak.
Yeah, Bench, I'm curious, you and I have cast these guys a decent amount in the regional finals, the Gaming Gladiators. Do you feel like they're at a similar level to what we've seen at some of those other international tournaments, or do you think they're not really hitting the mark in terms of what you've seen in the past?
Not on par, I would say. I feel like they're not... It's either of not warmed up properly just yet or not waking up properly just yet. I don't know what's the issue, but they're not showing the caliber they were able to prove and show in the previous tournaments. So just got to wait and see what they have on the board for the second map.
Yeah, I think kind of important to see ultimately what they're able to bring. I feel... Yeah, I could even tell just sort of watching that there was a lack of energy to them, and just took them a little bit too long to get going, and maybe got a few rounds in and they were sort of like, okay, this is going to be tough for us. We have to come up with something fresh, and just nothing was working, in some of the rounds. So a pretty tough opening game for Gaming Gladiators for sure.
Yeah, definitely a bit of an issue. And as we talked about before, it's a double elimination GSL format. So if Gaming Gladiators do go down here, even if it's 2-0, it doesn't matter. They have another chance to take a best of 3 and to try to come back. But it would be a fantastic start for Twisted Minds, obviously, if they could get started. Because if you win 2 best of 3s, then you're just straight in the playoffs. So that's got to feel really good. Do you feel like with this performance from Twisted Minds, they could be a contender to, make some splashes in playoffs? Or do you think they're just kind of up against a weaker opponent today?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it does look a little bit more like the latter. Always going to be difficult. If we can see them find like a super clean 2-0 here and, no real sweat for them, I think that, yeah, maybe we can talk a little bit about what they're going to be able to do in just, again, the second best of 3, like you say, and then they're able to make it through to playoffs. But They look good. I think that there's maybe not loads that they've been asked to do on that map, if that makes sense, right? There wasn't necessarily a big conversation around trying to get back into the game, trying to figure things out. Just the simple things that they were throwing were working. So I think that we maybe need to see a little more of a test into this next map, and then we can talk about how they'll look for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, like you said, the first map wasn't the cleanest of all for Twisted Mind as well, and we could see some weaknesses if they can't find the bomb site to attack, then they completely lose the wheel, and eventually they just lose the round. So like those kind of little things, they will have to go back to the drawing board and fix it up if they want a clean 2-0 going out from the group stages. If not, then other teams are watching this as well, so they're going to bite into it and use that to their advantage.
Yeah, well, it is prediction time. Are we going to get the 1-1? Are we going to have a series on our hands, or is this just going to be the straight up 2-0?
I'm confident in Twisted Minds, honestly. I think Gaming Gladiators, unfortunately, might need the 1 day acclimatization, as it were, and then a bit of a fire up them tomorrow to hopefully deliver a bit more. But yeah, I think Twisted Minds are going to take this pretty cleanly.
I mean, I think it's valid to say a 1-1 is still in the talks. We were able to see some moments where all the players from Gaimin playing very sharp. If they're able to just bring that back, Eagle Eye is definitely one of the maps that they will be favored over Twisted Minds. So just have to wait and see if that is going to be possible. Otherwise, it's going to be a clean 2-0, like you said, and Twisted Minds will just be able to finish this one out. Not being able to see Compound as map 3.
Yeah, I mean, Compound would be lovely to see.
Yeah.
I personally think this should be a 2-0. I'm kind of with you, Scriv, but we got the game going. So, guys, take it away.
Yes, indeed. Back into the action here, as there is no slowdown, of course. They'll be looking to get straight into things here, and we get to see a bit more out from these two teams on their lesser played sides, as it were, on map number 1. So that will certainly be curious. Raffin as well, not wasting any time as he just gets straight in the face for that first kill.
Yeah, he already walked up all the way out towards A-Long, was able to find the opening frag down towards that ship, who's been clutching out with the pistol to remind you on Black Widow down towards the B-bomb side. Eventually, down a player, Twisted Minds, they will have to reset from their positions. Looks like they want to just poke and prod down towards middle, that is. Having a 3-2 split for Gaiman. If this aggression ends up being a split, this could cost them around here. Very strong defense setup.
Yeah. But certainly some gaps left. You know, a sense of timing, a sense of making sure you don't get distracted. Especially this player in Raffin, you know, he's going to be the information guy. He has to make sure that he plays his role well. I would argue an overface Lion Claw peeking in towards middle, maybe trying to gather some information, but he loses his head for that. And now it opens up a lot of options with a Twisted Mind side that have time remaining. So really got to be careful now on this Gaming Gladiators side that they don't allow another player to overface.
Yeah. This box here that Kimbum's using back in Eagle Eye 1.0, it was spammable. So you could have seen the players on the Global Risk just spamming that box crazy, but it's been remade into Steel Box, so it does give more breathing room to the Blacklist side to balance up the map. But 30 seconds remaining, and looks like the C4 is going to head himself down towards A. Opening from Kimbum, takes down the Zane. Mousefee as well is going to find Raffin, but Spoxy still holding strong into the bomb site with the pistol out. Juggles himself around the stairs, gets the frag down to a 1v2. Carrot trying to contest the bomb site, gets one. He's been playing very well. Down to a 1v1 now, but 9 seconds has to go for the C4. Buys enough time for Flex to rotate, but I don't know, Scriv. This could be anyone's round.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Flex has played things pretty nicely here as he will drop back, starve information away. Try and play that game. Fortunately, it looks like Carrot may well have read it, but he looks away at the worst possible time. Flex gets in there, finds that kill easily.
Misses the jump.
we all saw, unfortunately. But indeed, will be Gaming Gladiators to take the first. Listen, hard fought comes down to a clutch after a really early opening kill. So there's still little things in there you got to watch for, but it is exactly what they wanted to start off their pick.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It wasn't the cleanest round of all, like I said. It was a little bit iffy. Didn't necessarily need to peek out towards middle. Lion Claw lost his head because of that. Coming into round number 2, Spoxy with yet another nice and clean opening. Kimbum goes down, contesting Hotel as well. Looks like they do want to gain a full control out towards B. Balkan takes some damage with the nade thrown his way as well. Looks like he's thinking about swinging. Lion Claw doesn't spot that out, gets knocked out. Flex going aggressive is going to be able to recoup the kill back down to 4v3. Not exactly sure what Twisted Minds wants to do here after dropping 2 players. It's like they're just going to rotate out from B, get the C4, join forces with that ship and see if they can take down A. But as you can see on the minimap, Scriv, held down by 3 players once again.
Yeah, it does seem like they want that A-bomb site to be a solid lockout. They were baited out last time around, so never a solid deal. Carrot up the tower with a nice find. Actually going to thin those numbers on that dreaded A-bomb site. That chip trying to spam away here. Can't quite find it. Riffin, though, he is struggling to get those kills in. Oh, there's no ammo. Spoxy doesn't know where to look. Too many targets. He's onto the pistol. It's not enough. Madness from Datchip as he runs out of ammo in the primary. Has to go to the secondary. Gets 2. Bomb point going to be denied here, though. But the trade is there. Another chaotic round. This time, it is Twisted Minds to come out on top.
Too many targets. Like you said, Spoxy almost got the shot in, but he had to switch to the secondary. Didn't quite work out. Wasn't able to find the second frag, and Twisted Minds is going to be able to find the round for themselves, tied to 1-1. Moving into round number 3. Looks like yet another early Hotel aggression. Trying to gain the ground here by Gaiman. Worked out wonders last time. Don't know if it's going to work this time around. Lion Claw going a bit more aggressive. Eventually, he's going to fall back a little bit towards the staircase.
Yeah, not sure if he was heard crossing.
Probably not.
So do have to be careful of this area. Looks like Twisted Mind's wanting to play a much slower kind of round. They are heavily smoked off at the moment, though, as they're fortunately not able to create too much. Meanwhile, long angle at A goes the way of the Gaming Gladiators side of things. So a nice find here for Spoxy.
Spoxy definitely being the guy to find the opening frags for Gaiman. But from the history repeating himself from the last round, Twisted Minds did lose a player to begin with, but they were able to get the round back. So
yeah,
don't know if the frag is going to matter all that much by TM.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say, certainly what we've seen from Gaming Gladiators, they've done a very good job of finding those opening picks. So maybe immediately looking more comfortable on this map as compared to the previous, right? A few more confident angles in places.
Yeah, definitely burning the clock down to the wire here. 50 seconds, and looks like TM has crossed in towards the B long area, but Flex is holding strong. Gets the clap onto Baku, looking for the second, but doesn't have the information though. That chip from the swing does find one. Flex though will add one more kill to the board. Down to a 2v4. That chip and Carrot all to do. Didn't know that Refin was all the way out towards middle. Gets knocked out. All the down to the hands of Carrot as he gets gunned down by 3 players simultaneously.
Yeah, certainly not going to come out on top of that, but it looks a lot better, I think, from Gaming Gladiators. They do just seem to have some of the excitement that we were missing on map number 1. Twisted Mind's going to have to work harder here, and I think they're starting to now realize that. But
here's the quick replay, I believe.
Yeah, Flex from the previous round. Pretty big one from him, for sure. Just catching a couple of those kills that we missed out on. It will be yet another opening pickup for the Gaming Gladiator side. So something that Twisted Minds have really got a nip in the bud. Starting to get very problematic.
Yeah, if the same thing continues for 3 rounds straight, then there's something wrong about it. Yeah. Nonetheless, yet another slow round being delivered by Twisted Minds. I feel like if they don't drop a player by the opening frags, then they will go very fast. But whenever they're stuck in a position where they do lose a player and have to play a 4v5, then they play really, really slow. And as I say that chip's going to start sniffing into the bomb site pretty quick, I would say.
It seems to be something that they quite like, actually, is they drop down. Maybe they do it in conventional rounds as well, but that chip, they're just leaving him on an island to do his own thing, try and go first, try and find an entry on the other bomb site as it is in this round.
Just being the crack player, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, his teammates maybe not quite delivering in the same way, and one man can only do so much. Trying to get the catches here. Keen find onto one, but there you are. Immediately traded out. Has he created enough space? I think the answer to that question is going to be no. Bomb goes down solidly now in the hands of Global Risk. So looks decent here. Carrot does manage to recover it. Actually, a relatively clear path to that B-bomb site, but just not able to move fast enough. Didn't have that information, of course. And so Gaming Gladiators starting to stretch ahead now.
Yeah, Gaiman's gonna be playing the rounds in a smart manner, I would say. The Armors go pretty aggressive, actively try to get the opening frags. If not, they will just fall back and leave the bomb site to the hands of the riflers. But up until now, the aggression has been working wonders. Kimbum has been going down. Baku has been going down. Even that chip, I think, lost his life at one point in the rounds. And moving into round number 5, finally, nobody has lost the top of their head.
Yeah.
And hopefully Twisted Minds can get some rounds back here.
But you can see as well, it's sort of that B long area is just a complete lockout. And what they've done into this round to adjust is just it's barely out of spawn.
Yeah.
So I think they're just on the Twisted Mind side of things saying, right, we're going to have to concede that area. We can't fight it. We're not finding success over there. So That does leave them fewer options available in terms of the bomb sites. So we're probably looking at a couple A hits in a row here.
If you think about it, it's almost a deal, isn't it? Like, it's like Global Risk will lock out B. Blacklist will basically respond by, okay, we can take control of middle at least and play from there. And that's exactly what is happening here on the map of Eagle Eye, as Twisted Minds does have control out towards long, does have the control down towards middle, but they have completely lost the control out towards B. So it may seem a little bit abnormal to the viewers that doesn't watch Eagle Eye all that often, but this is the default setup, so to speak, I would say.
Oh, Flex misses the shot. Looked like he was on a pretty keen lineup there. His teammates, though, they find success. Able to help out towards middle. Looking very good now. Not a lot of time left. Pistol out. Carrot just closes the gap there. Catches Flex completely off guard. Griffin, who's having a really great half here thus far. Again, time is starting to really become a problem. They've lost that bomb now. It's all on Carrot. Up against 4. He's going to have to ace up to win the round. Not going to happen for him. And Gaming Gladiators only losing 1 player there. You know, again, a round that looked a bit better on paper for Twisted Minds. They gained some ground in towards middle, but they just cannot convert pretty much anything.
And this is probably the right time for Twisted Minds to call the attack pause. I feel like whatever happened on Black Widow, we can just kind of, you know, put that aside. Gaming Gladiators was able to pick back up the pace, play smart, play the right angles in the right time, get the trade frags if needed. It's been working out quite nicely. They were able to rack up some rounds. For Twisted Minds, the aggressive plays trying to achieve angles early on in Black Widow worked out wonders. But coming to Eagle Eye, it's not necessarily being translated into gaining the ground. Rather, it's losing a player early on. So definitely got to go back to the drawing board a little bit and fix that issue. Otherwise, Gaiman seems to be pretty dominant in this matchup right now.
Yeah, I think they recognize that as well. You know, obviously they've tried to change things up in the previous round just from a strategical approach, an initial approach, but also not working. So Twisted Minds hitting the wall themselves. It's kind of a rinse and repeat of the first map, but the teams are flipped. So we'll see if they're able to come back into things here. Of course, the first and only round that they've found, also off the back of a clutch situation. So not a lot that they can call on, not a lot that has been replicable.
So, Scriv, we are very early on into the second map. Like, nothing's been decided and nothing really shines light. But what if we say Gaiman wins Eagle Eye, then we go into Compound? Who do you think is going to come out on top for the whole series?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a tough call. I'd probably have to lean more on the Gaming Gladiators. If they keep playing like this and they win the map in this fashion, I think maybe, yeah, you do start to lean their way just because they would have that sort of momentum upper hand. Another keen opener here as the round gets going. So Gaming Gladiators seemingly can do no wrong. Maybe buying off a bit more than they can chew here, though, as they will press the attack. They were already a man up. They decided to get super aggressive. It seems to have gone sideways for them. The C4 is miles ahead. Really weird situation here into the hotel.
Yeah.
Flex just trying to hold things down and drop that bomb ultimately.
Yeah, Flex was able to juggle himself through his smoke and somehow find himself in the middle of hotel. Was able to take down Carrot, who was completely unaware that an enemy could be present. Gets completely knocked out. And now Melsby was able to retreat a little bit.
Yeah.
Join up with Kim Bum. The C4 rather more safe. Soon will be planted down towards B. And sensing that Spoxy and Flex is going to start walking in towards the bomb site. Just about a minute left onto the clock. The C4 now gets planted. Kimbum can cover middle completely by himself, but looks like Melsby wants to just go for the trade kills. So is Gaiman, as both players are walking in towards a long area, but not entirely sure if TM is all aware of this.
Oh, big find. Tap on the bomb. Flash as well, but Spoxy still able able to find them. Oh my God. How has he gotten away with that?
What a spray down. Quick double kill. And yet another round goes towards the side of Gaiman.
Insane. Absolutely.
With the M14 too. That gun, great damage, great recoil, but the RPM is just not there. But
of course.
Somehow this man finds himself in a spray down situation and gets both kills. So.
They will be kicking themselves. I mean, again, he gets into them, I suppose, but they maybe just have to believe and have some confidence in the setup. You figure they find that first kill, they're in with a really good chance of taking it. A lot of frustration coming into this round for sure. We've got a quick 1-for-1. As they'll trade things out. Once again, Gaming Gladiators looking to get aggressive down that B-long angle, but this time they'll know when to quit.
Yeah, after a quick trade, looks like they're going to play this one out a little bit in a slower manner. But yeah, kind of surprised to see that Twisted Minds is not forcing it down towards the middle yet. I mean, they had ideas of doing it a couple of rounds ago, but at the end of the day, they didn't really force it. So if hitting A is not working, gotta go elsewhere. If hitting B is not working, gotta go elsewhere. And the only option left here, theoretically, is middle. So looks like they're still gonna show interest down towards Hotel, down towards B. Lion Claw has an angle. It's gonna fall back after hearing 2-3 different guns being fired towards him.
Can't make it away though, so he does go down. Okay, and we're back with a bit of a vengeance here on the Twisted Minds side of things. Yes, they might not have won that previous round, that previous clutch, but it seems like they have put the fear into Gaming Gladiators a little bit. Their individuality looking better. Spoxy surviving for now, but eventually finished off. And this is the best looking Twisted Minds round they have had. They should absolutely be able to convert things here in just a moment. Dezane has been spotted. A few players that are a bit lower than they would like, but ultimately he gets finished on the backside. So still some work to be done, but that is a start.
That definitely is a start for Twisted Minds. They were able to pick up some pace back up. And I'm not entirely sure if Twisted Minds wants to just force themselves onto one bomb site continuously, because, you know, Gaiman, well known to adjust their tactics, customize it for their opponents.
Indeed. As they have been a little bit adaptive even within this game. We've got a lot of aggression, a lot of kills on the screen from the previous round, from this round. Both teams just charge straight into mid. Absolute bloodbath. Oh! You can't be missing those, Carrot. Come on now. He's got in his own head about it. The bomb is briefly in the hands of Flex there, but ultimately they will clean it up. But there was an easy shot that he missed, all right? We all saw that.
That whiff was a little bit surprising to me, but at the end of the day...
Hey, it happens. It's always when they're not looking at you that you miss. You know, the easy ones, actually the hardest.
I even thought the grenade would just finish it there.
Yeah, true.
But eventually Flex was able to dodge it. Coming into round number 9, though. Last round of the first half. Diamond, after dropping 2 rounds quickly in a row, is going to be playing this one out pretty slow. Flex on top of the site was able to find Carrot through heaven, and now Spoxy looking to find a kill of his own. He's going to start swinging. And so far, Twisted Minds, bullied out from middle, is going to have to gather outside of A-Long once again. I don't know if it's going to help them. Don't know what the results are going to be, but well, all we can do is wait and see.
Just got to wait for an overstep. I think it's something that Gaming Gladiators have been actually doing in the past 2 or 3 rounds. If Twisted Minds had managed to clutch things up, we'd actually be looking more at a 4-4 situation. That would be very, very interesting indeed. So Gaming Gladiators have to convert this now, keep them at arm's length, make sure that there is no gap. Close, and there's one of those overfaces I was talking about here. So the man advantage going to be evened up now.
Yeah, a little too wide of a swing from Flex. Gets punished by the players of Twisted Minds, and the aggression down towards Zay as well. That chip's going to be able to find the Zane, who was peeking out just a little too wide. Gets his head knocked out. Down to a 4v3 with the C4 stuck dead outside of A-Long. Don't know if he can fall back, but The frags down towards B does open up the gate for the players to rotate all the way from the spawn area down to a 2v2. Is Gaiman aware of this?
Well, that is the question. I would imagine not. Hockey going to find his as well. The sniper of Spoxy now going to be more aware. Not loads of time, but still should be enough that they can group up and close him down. It's all just going to come down to if he can get the catches. The answer is no. And here we go, heating up now, as it will indeed come as close as damn it. This is getting very, very, very dangerous for Gaming Gladiators.
5-4 on the first half, and now they will have to move on to the blacklist side. Gaiman, do they have the caliber? That's going to be the real question here.
Yeah.
We're about to find out in just a moment. But yeah, this is the overstep, like you mentioned, from Flex. Cost almost, I think that basically cost them the round here.
Yeah, the first domino for sure, right? And sometimes it's good to just completely remove dominoes from the conversation. We are playing Crossfire, I suppose. But yeah, it's is one of those moments you look back to that it's, oh, why did I do that? What was the point? Spoxy with the first find here, though.
Quick drop.
Really, really fast once again. Gaming Gladiators not afraid of the aggression here on Eagle Eye 2.0. There's a trade back from Dat Chip. Kimbum up close. Got some support now as well. The flashes coming round, so just buy him some time. The spray down is good, and it's 4 for Kimbum.
Quick 4K for Kimbum to wrap that round up in a blink of an eye almost. One quick magazine and quick swap to secondary for the final kill, and looks like that round is going to just take the spirit away for the side of Gaiman.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, an individual moment like that, and of course, again, another round where they find the early pick. They've done it again here, so it's starting to get a bit out of hand. We'll take another look at this lovely little move. Really well played, but it's the support as well, isn't it? You know, coming in from behind. He had those flashes. He had a few extra bullets to help him out. Down to a 3-on-3 in the round itself. So we'll see here. Again, it was Gaming Gladiators to open up. So if Twisted Minds could maybe help themselves out a bit and just not lose that first player, they could be in a really keen position here. Bomber's gone down, but the retake is moving in thick and fast. Just 2 remaining now.
Kill.
Yeah, that's a dangerous kill. Really scary indeed. Carrot, on this. Oh, I'm going to miss out close. That is unfortunate, but Gaming Gladiators retake the lead.
I mean, I thought the round was pretty clean, but at the end of the day, Raffin was able to find the trade kills back into the pocket and just close the round out. So, yeah, for Twisted Minds, unfortunately, the retake wasn't quite there, I would say. And for Twisted Minds, they are not necessarily utilizing the early aggressions opening picks, trying to actively find the opening frags like Flex did on the Global Rush side. The Armors, the Snipers of the side of Twisted Minds are going to be playing in the more passive angle of all things.
It's just generally a more confident kind of play style from Gaming Gladiators, I think. Maybe in the first half of the previous map, we didn't see it as much, but since then, they've been unafraid to get in the face of their opponents. And here on Eagle Eye, to much more success, that is for damn sure. Oh, Mouse V, that looked dangerous, but he's able to actually survive that, take the kill with him. So a keen opener coming in here, lots and lots of damage being done. Trade will be there. In towards long. Oh, Mouse V as well, maybe going down a little too easily. That Chip selling his teammate down the river just to try and confirm these kills, but it doesn't happen for him. That's going to be the key kill. Can these retakers come in and finish off these low HP players, I suppose, remains the question.
Carrot was able to find the cheeky angle to find the frag down to a 2v2. Just a minute left onto the clock, and Zane trying his best to juggle himself onto the bomb site with the C4 planted. Carrot takes a bunch of damage through the smoke there. Will have to reposition himself as Kimbum going for the bigger flank here. The C4 now gets dropped, and the clock is now ticking against for the side of TM. The Zane down towards half HP, but Carrot barely alive as well. Rather even round, even retake, but is Diamond aware of all the angles that are coming in. Oh, the Flex just spot out Kimbum, and looks like the answer is yes. Kimbum goes down, and Carrot will have to start moving in. But Scriv, this round seemingly should be given towards the side of Gaiman.
Big kill, though. Carrot does manage to find the first. The pistol's out. Oh, man, and Flex just able to get it mid-air. Knew he was low, most likely. So, yeah, really solid stuff. God damn, it's so close, though. Again, very, very chaotic, and Twisted Minds with the right idea, but not quite the right execution in the end. So, really going to come down to the wire here. Might see our first overtime as well if things go to plan.
It definitely is a possibility. But the replay here is Flex being able to spot Kimbum not looking the right way.
Yeah, I know.
And securing the round almost. But Bakut now being contested, gets one. Can't quite connect to the second kill, but Kimbum is there to help. But he himself gets knocked out by Raffin as well. Quick double kill for Raffin. And Gaiman is going to be able to take the bomb site and get the bomb planted down to the hands of Carrot versus the world. He's been put in this situation multiple times, but this time it's not going to work out. And Spoxy will find the frag, and Gaiman is going to secure their lead. It's going to be 8-5 on the scoreline.
Yeah, again, Game Gladiator is just a little more to them as they're able to find more consistent success. There's moments where it looks a bit close, but particularly when it comes to moving into the bomb sites, I think the Twisted Minds setups are not quite as surefire as they would like. That chip, aggressive and in the face, and try and play around him as much as they possibly can. It's sort of a bait and switch setup coming in here, and Kimbum, as the player flies over the top of him, will manage to stay alive. I think a bit of support from Mousevy as well, and there you go. I mean, Twisted Minds also able to pull it out. Really, really enjoying the M14 here on the defensive side as well. But ultimately, key round for them. Really, really important round to just keep them off of that map point.
Yeah, and Twisted Minds had a really nice crossfire setup there. Kimbum finding the opening frag, and he turned around. I thought he was dead because there was another Blacklist player that was peeking up, but Mousevy was there to take him out.
Might catch it here on the replay, potentially, but you can kind of just see as he starts to turn around. It was Dezane actually flying in. Carrot going to open here with a double, in fact. Twisted Minds might be back. Gaming Gladiators got to watch out.
There's a lot to talk about here. 8-6, and if TM can pick this round up, it's gonna be 8-7. But Lion Claw is gonna be able to find the opening up towards Kimbum. That chip goes down as well. Precision definitely there for Lion Claw. Equalized down to 3-on-3 with the bomb site. Compromised now. The C4 has all the room to be planted. And Twisted Minds, they will have to go for the retake. Mousevy takes a bunch and has to reposition.
Oh, man. They're so far away. I just, and they have like such a lack of control and info. Carrot with a big find, though. That might get them back in. Mousevy as well. Finding one, spotting the second, damaging the second, in fact. So surely you have to get this done. But Riffin holding it together, he's just not ready. Carrot, they didn't know where he was, right? The kill came in so far away. Is he coming behind? Is he coming conventionally? It's unfortunate, very unfortunate indeed. Close, but that's not going to be good enough. Twisted Minds bring it within one.
And like you mentioned, some of the rounds by Twisted Minds might not be the cleanest, but it does get the job done. Wins you the rounds. And as you can see, Twisted Minds slowly clawing back up to 8-7, just one round away from tying it back up. So whether the round be clean or dirty, a round is a round.
True, this is true. Yeah, and I think they'll be pretty thankful of that one. The retake, it didn't look good, did it?
Yeah, no, it didn't.
So far away, everybody in different positions, but just a couple gifts come their way. So here we go, all to play for at this point. Some early damage coming in, perhaps off the back of a nade. Keen enough start for Twisted Minds, and always a good feeling, isn't it? Gaming Gladiators have been very effective with the first pick. If you can deny that away and hold on for a little longer, it always looks good.
Surely and indeed. Moving into round number 16. Early aggression down towards middle. Mousevy has a really good angle, only if he can spot them out. Not quite going to work as he gets quickly traded out. Bakut is there to help out. The C4 is dropped in dead center of the map. Trying to be recovered by the players of Gaiman. They do have control of middle, but Bakut is still waiting with a cheeky angle. Ooh, Carrot spots Spoxy, not quite lands the kill with the AK though. Spray down, almost there. Secondary out, tries to get the kill, not quite there as Flex quickly drops 3 players and secures around for Gaiman.
Oh, that could be the moment. That could be the moment. I mean, you know, trapped in surely has to go down. Surely has to go down. There's also the tag on the player through the door.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, maybe.
Didn't work out.
Oh, man. Twisted Minds will be kicking themselves. Really big round and some unlucky moments. Couple of mistakes as well, particularly from a mechanical perspective. This is it from the other side of things. It's that one, isn't it? That second kill that he just really had no right in finding. But he does. Big damage to kick this one off.
This is going to be the decider round for Twisted Minds. Can they close the series out 2-0 by going into overtime, or will we go to map number 3? Big questions being asked here. Don't know how Twisted Minds want to respond on towards this. Quick aggression might be unfolding out towards a bomb site. A lot of setups being thrown out. Carrot trying to hold it down. So is Kimba, but they're completely blind. Raffin is going to quickly move on to the bomb site. Can he find the frags here? Carrot goes down. The answer is yes, but Kimba was able to find quick 2 frags as well. Down to a 2v3. And Spoxy was able to find 1. Spoxy finding the second kill as well. Down to a 1v2 and Scriv. Do you think this round is possible?
Oh, I mean, maybe with that shot. Maybe with that shot. He's got to get the bomb back, though, is the key thing here. Mouseby spotted. Shot misses, but certainly going to confirm that he still doesn't have the bomb. So he has to come to me, says Mouseby here. And with a minute remaining on the clock, Spoxy's got many options available if he wants to try and rotate around. It is just the fact, you know, sniper really deadly at long ranges, really got to be careful. Mouseby has to play the right spot. And I think he knows that. He's sort of constantly on the move, making sure not to get timing peaked.
Yeah, Spoxy has all the time in the world, all the room in the world as well to rotate himself around and find Mouseby or just C4 and get the bomb planted and go into post plant. But like you said, Mouseby trying to dig and poke and prod into different angles to save himself essentially from getting dropped. It's about 26 seconds. The C4 now gets recovered. Mouseby, I think, has an idea what's happening here. The C4 now is going to go down. Mouseby is on the rotation down to a crucial 1v1. Bunch of damage being put out. Spoxy at 8 HP and a dream to close the map out. But Spoxy has the angle, gets the shot done. And Eagle Eye is going towards the side of Gaiman Gladiators.
Oh, man, it's so tough. Those last 2 rounds, especially for Twisted Minds, really unfortunate, you might argue. Maybe there's different things they could have done, and they will look a little internally, especially though on the map as a whole. Started off very slowly. They were maybe a bit overconfident, you know, not respecting the early peaks, not respecting the early aggression until it was maybe 4-1, something like that. We saw an adjustment from them, but ultimately far too easy for Gaming Gladiators straight out of the gate. But you can see the gap started to close. They really did perform well towards the tail end of the first into the second half, but it just wasn't quite enough. And Gaming Gladiators, with that initial buffer, gave themselves enough room to work with for the victory there.
So this is what I want to point out. Like, macro-wise, I think Gaiman Gladiators has the macro in terms of like team movements,